want to share with you why you need to understand this cycle in order to unlock your dream body. I'm Ryan from 5-Star Bootcamp in Westwood, Massachusetts, and if you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling like, man, I'm lacking motivation, I know I want to achieve my fitness goals, but I don't know where to start. I don't have the motivation to get started. I can assure you that this might be the missing link. So let me explain this to you really quick. It starts off over here with belief, right? If you can think about in the past, the times you took action from the times you did not, belief was the, I'll say, differing factor, right? Think about the times you took action. Why did you do it? It's probably because you believed that you could. You believed you had the potential to take that action and start to get a result. So it all starts with belief. The times that you maybe didn't take action, which is maybe where you are now, you might be thinking, you know what? It's going to be like the last time. You know, why is this time going to be different? And because you don't believe you can do it, the potential, whether you can do it, you don't take action. Because you don't take action, you don't get results, and you don't get results, so your belief doesn't get any higher, and you stay in this vicious cycle. Whereas the times that maybe it did work, right? What about the times that you had a ton of belief? What happened? You believed you could do it, which means because you believed you could do it, you believed you had the potential to make change, guess what? Boom! You took massive action. And because you took massive action, you went and got a trainer, you worked out, you started eating better, you started doing all these things, you started going to bed on time. Boom! What happened? Results started happening. And when results start happening, your belief in yourself goes even what? Higher. Now you might be thinking, oh, well, okay, if that's all well and good, why aren't I at my result now? Because I've been on that cycle before. There can be 100 reasons why. It could be something traumatic happened in your life and threw you off track. It could be, the stressors of everyday life got to us, and because of that, it threw us off of this cycle. Or it could even be that, man, you were on this cycle, things were great, but then you took action that didn't lead to a result. Ooh. So what happens? You're 2, 3, 4 weeks into an exercise program. You're down 15 to 20 pounds to your ultimate goal, but then you start getting stuck. You're still taking the action, but you're not reaping the result that you thought it would. Well, what happens? The belief that action is going to incur a different result is going to what? Go down. The idea of, man, can I do this, starts getting weaker and weaker. And because of that, you take less action, which leads to less results, which, again, it's a vicious cycle. This can either be a vicious cycle or a virtuous cycle, one that helps you get to your goal. So what do you do if the action you're no longer doing is no longer getting the result? You change your action. Now you might be thinking, oh, that's so simple, but are you doing it? For example, let's say, you lost 20 pounds with this model. Hell yeah, way to go! But then you did that in, let's say, 4 to 5 weeks. But then past that, you started getting to this point that another 5 weeks went by and you only lost 5 more pounds. Whew. Man, that's not very motivating. So what do? You change the action. And, well, what action is that going to be? That could be, man, all right, well, I need to tighten up my diet. Maybe I'm going to exercise a bit more. Maybe I'm going to start looking at different ways to lose weight. And maybe that's by being less stressed, starting to meditate. I'm just throwing ideas out there. But if you change the action and you get the result you want, then what happens? You're back on the virtuous cycle. Now your belief goes up. The belief of your potential, I can do this, goes up. You take more action, which leads to more results. And now you're on that uptrend again, getting to your dream body. But what happens again if you're doing all this and you lose, let's say, another 20 pounds, 20 to 20, now you're down 40 pounds, you have 10 pounds to go. But now, I'm stuck again. The action I'm taking is not helping me lose any more weight. What do? I can tell you what you don't do. You don't keep doing the same action. Because if you do, that's going to lead to a not so good result, which is going to lead to not so good belief, which is going to lead, and you already know where I'm going with this. So you do something different. But what happens if the action you take doesn't lead to a better result? Well, you do something else. What happens if the action you take then doesn't lead to a result? You gain 5 pounds. Well, guess what? You do something else. What happens? I think you know where I'm going. If you are not getting the result you want, we have to change the action until we get the result we want. I once had, I think it was Tony Robbins, he ingrained in me, by listening to his tapes, he had said, look, if you're not getting the result you want, you gotta change your approach. And if you don't get the result you want, you change your approach. And that's what I'm inviting you to do. Keep changing your approach until you get the result you want. Once you get the result you want, you're golden. So all you need to do is take this cycle. You need to understand it so that when you start going on to a vicious cycle, you can improve it to a virtuous cycle. So hopefully that makes sense. If this gave you any value at all, or if you can think about, man, my friend Susie needs to hear this, tag her below, share this post, and I will see you tomorrow.